Hey guys, Sudarshan PT, thebodymech.com. Welcome to my channel. So guys, let's discuss about muscle contraction. What is this muscle contraction? What is responsible for muscle contraction? How does this happen? So let's see. Muscle contraction occurs due to the interaction between two myofilaments, actin and myosin. And this is initiated by the arrival of a nerve impulse. So from where this nerve impulse arrive? Nerve impulse arrive from the brain to spinal cord to muscle. Now let's see the structure of spinal cord. So that's your spinal cord. Okay. And this is your dorsal root. And this is your ventral root. And that's your ventral horn. And that's your cell body. Okay. Cell body of motor nerve. We are more concentrating on motor activity, so let me not talk about sensory activity. Okay, fine. This is your motor nerve axon. This is your motor unit. Motor unit consists of alpha motor neurons and all of the muscle fibers innervating it. Fine. That's about motor unit. So what happens if a muscle has to contract? It must have a stimulus. For example, taking a cup of water and drinking it. So what happens here is, I'll explain. Brain has to send signals. Brain has to send signals to spinal cord. From spinal cord, it has to comes through motor nerve axon and hit the motor unit. Okay, what happens here is that when impulses are carried from brain, it goes to spinal cord. From the spinal cord, from the cell body of motor nerve, the alpha motor neuron will arrive through motor nerve axon and hit the motor unit, and the muscle contracts. So that's how muscle contracts. So let me explain you this in a flowchart. So if a muscle has to contract, there should be interaction between myofilaments, actin and myosin, and this is initiated by arrival of nerve impulse. The first one is arrival of nerve impulse. Through the motor nerve axons. So the second step is, when nerve impulse arrives, it evokes an action potential. Evokes an action potential or electrical impulse. So when an action potential or an electrical impulse evokes, it leads to opening of calcium channel. Opens calcium channels. So there is influx of calcium. So this influx of calcium leads to repositioning of tropomyosin. So troponin repositions tropomyosin. This happens because the receptor site at actin must be free, so that myosin head groups can attach or can couple with actin. So this leads to coupling of actin with myosin. So this bonding between actin and myosin is called as cross bridge. Okay. So when this actin binds with myosin, tension will generate, and this tension is generated by the hydrolysis of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that tension is released by ADP, adenosine diphosphate, with the loss of one phosphate molecule. Okay, so this will lead to contraction, muscle contraction. So this everything is explained in a cross bridge cycle. So let's see. So for a muscle to contract, other than the nerve impulse, muscle has to be at rest. So the first phase of cross bridge cycle will be skeletal muscle at rest. So let's see how it looks. This is your Z line or Z disc, and this is your thin myofilament actin, and this is your thick myofilament myosin, and this is your molecule of this globular protein actin, a troponin, and this is head groups of myosin. Okay, and this is your actin receptor site. Actin receptor site. It has ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Fine. Muscle. This is how muscle looks at rest. So the second phase of cross bridge cycle will be coupling. So for a coupling to occur, a nerve impulse has to arrive and should evoke an action potential or an electrical impulse so that the alpha motor neurons can travel through motor nerve axons and hit the muscle fiber. So the second phase will be coupling. So let's see how it looks. So for a coupling to occur, troponin has to reposition tropomyosin when calcium influx happens. So calcium influx happens when action potential evokes or an electrical impulse evokes. Fine. So calcium have arrived and troponin have repositioned tropomyosin. Fine. So now the receptor site at actin is free and ready to get coupled with myosin head groups. Okay. So this creates an active site of cross bridge. So here you can see there is no activation of cross bridge because muscle is at rest. Okay? This is your active site of cross bridge and it is maintained by ATP. Okay, when muscle contracts, a tension is generated and that tension is generated by hydrolysis of adenosine triphosphate, ATP. The third phase of cross bridge cycle is contraction. When contraction occurs, it shortens the muscle fiber. So the two Z discs will shorten each other. Fine. Let's see. So Z line was here and it's been shortened. And now there's still calcium. Cross bridge have occurred and myosin head groups have pulled the actin myofilament. Okay, so it have pulled. So what happens here is that the linkage between actin and myosin triggers the ATP to divide into ADP and phosphate with the energy. So ATP will divide into ADP with the loss of one phosphate molecule. So this is how contraction occurs. Coming to the fourth phase of cross-bridge cycle is recharging. Z line is in same position. Now the active site where myosin have attached with actin has to uncouple and retract from the active site of actin. Okay. So this is possible by rephosphorylation of ATP on cross bridge. Okay. ATP rephosphorylation. On cross bridge. Calcium is still there. Okay. That's how recharging occurs. So the final phase of cross bridge cycle is muscle relaxation. Muscle has to come to the same position like muscle at rest. Your Z line will come to resting position. Fine. Receptor site of actin must close by troponin and myosin has to be in the same position. So this whole thing is about cross bridge cycle, how the muscle contracts from rest to coupling, coupling to contraction, contraction to recharging and recharging to relaxation. So that's about muscle contraction.